All right, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Simply Cyber's First Things First. Today's date is March 24th. This is Simply Cyber's daily morning cybersecurity threat briefing. I'm your host, Gerald Auger, and in the next 30 minutes, you are going to be delivered the top cybersecurity news of the day, and I will provide expert analysis on each of these stories. Let me see. So I'm going to be telling you what it means to you as a practitioner, or if you're an individual looking to break into the industry, this is certainly going to add value to you. So shout out and thanks to this stream's sponsor, Barricade Cyber Solutions, your partner for incident response, ransomware protection, and business recovery. If you're live with us, love it. We're averaging about 100 people a day a stream, and I genuinely appreciate each of you for being here and making this just such a spectacular experience. If you're watching on replay, thanks for catching the stream. I know it can be tough on the West Coast. It can be tough if you have competing things going on, but you know, this is valuable even on replay. So thank you so much. That little ticker in the corner, if you want to jump right to the news, not the moose, there's no cows. Go to 000 and we'll start the actual broadcast. But for the next 2 minutes and 1 second, I'll be welcoming folks into the stream. So what's up, everybody? Welcome to the stream. Hey, what's up, Kimberly? Wicket 6 till 2 a.m. Eastern. It's on again today for the final day. Yeah, so check out that Wicket 6 program. I saw that. A lot of excellent speakers who are there. Good morning, Ryan. Good to see you. Asha 412, I see you. I don't know what's funny, but I miss things. Good morning, Mark Lester. Aloha from Illinois. Definitely. I love it. Hey, Tom Pike. Guys, Tom Pike is in chat. I feel like Tom got to expel, and they've been hogging some Tom Pike. It's good to see you, Tom. I hope everything's well, man. All right, Stefan Semmelroth, happy day. It's Thursday. It's stream day, guys. So we've got Outpost Gray coming up later. We've got Simply Cyber Live coming up later. It's going to be hot. I'm going to go really quick, close my door. Thanks for the shout out on the background. We've been spicing it up here at the Simply Cyber Studios. Give me 1 second. All right. Very cool. Yeah, it can be tough. I get all spicy and hot, and my house isn't a mansion, so my voice carries, and other people who are in the house are like, why are you yelling? Why? So I have to keep the door shut, and I didn't do that. Coming off hot from the teaching at the Citadel today. It was all about firewalls, setting up firewalls, explaining how you can keep people from going to nasty websites on the internet using firewalls, and how you keep threat actors from pushing into your environment via firewalls. Hey, Kimberly. Hey, yep, Justin Gold, I see you. Lupe, I don't know if Lupe Peterman's in chat. Hey, there she is. Hey, Lupe. Saw your note on LinkedIn. Thank you so much. And Mubaraz, thanks. Thanks for the kind words. Guys, check it out. This is the background, and it's going to get better. You can't see it right now, but I actually have a light that's going to kind of shine down on my head, which is going to make me pop off the background. Yeah, so I told you, I'm really I told you guys, when ThreatGen started, I was going to be doing things for Simply Cyber, making it tighter. And this microphone, this background, these lights, this voice, it's all part of this thing. So super excited about that. Let's jump into the news stories, guy, because that's what we're all here for. If you want to play along, some of you know this. If you don't, check it out. We're going to CISOseries.com. CISOseries.com, David Spark and his gang, they put together the daily broadcast, which we piggyback on top of and do what we do. So special thanks to them. And, you know, if you end up not liking me or my style, definitely go to CISO Series and consume this for yourself because it's super valuable. Let's get into the top stories of the day.
From the CISO Series, it's cybersecurity headlines.
It's Thursday, March 24th, 2022. Microsoft expands program to fill cyber skills gap. Last year, Microsoft began a cybersecurity skilling initiative in the U.S. in partnership with 135 community colleges as part of an effort to grow cybersecurity talent and diversify the industry. This week, the company expanded the initiative to 23 additional countries, including Australia, Brazil, Canada, and India. Microsoft will work with local schools, nonprofits, government, and businesses to develop localized programs. In these new markets, Microsoft found that, on average, only 17% of the cybersecurity workforce is female. Microsoft said it expects there to be 3.5 million cybersecurity jobs open globally by 2025.
All right, this is great news. I find it interesting that they threw in the female male diversity proportions in there in the story. Interesting. I know Jen Easterly just recently said at a major conference, wanting to get the percentage of females in industry up much higher. I think it's at 24% right now, which is really good. But wanted to continue to push that. So about this story, guys, way to go, Microsoft, trying to fill those jobs. I know a lot of people in this stream are looking to break in, or you just broke in. It can be frustrating. Oh, there's so many open jobs. Why can't I get one? Why do I have to go through 6 levels of interview and then ultimately not get the job? This is crap. Guys, we've also talked on stream about how you don't really need a 4-year degree necessarily to be successful in industry and do it. If Microsoft's working with community colleges and different programs, standing up things so people can get the skills they need to contribute and make an impact in the cybersecurity workforce, that's fantastic. I'm a big advocate. Like, I feel like cybersecurity, there are different roles, but like I don't know why trade schools get such a bad rap in the United States, at least, but like, I could really see a trade school type program for cybersecurity skills where you go in for 18 months, 2 years. It's a focused program, even maybe in high school, like a vocational school, and you come out ready to deliver value. You understand what a SIM is, how SOCs work, etc. So way to go, Microsoft, for doing this. I do like that they're giving consideration to diversity in the workforce as well, making sure that everybody gets opportunities. So I hope, this is a great thing to just say as a big headline, but how do they do that? What does it look like? What are they funding? I'll be interested to see that, but way to go. Also, I missed it, Andres Escobar, but people are giving you congratulations. So I'm sure you did something fantastic. I'll go back and watch it in chat afterwards. Congratulations to you. I love wins for people in the Simply Cyber community.
Cybercrime losses up 64% in 2021. According to the FBI's annual Internet Crime Report, reported losses from cybercrime increased over $2 billion on the year to $6.9 billion, while criminal complaints were up 7% from 2020. The report found phishing, non-payment schemes, and personal data breaches the most commonly reported crimes. Business email compromise scams accounted for a third of all losses, followed by investment scams and romance scams. Unlike 2020, the FBI did not break out COVID-19 related criminal activity, which saw 28,500 complaints in that year.
Okay, so I'm gonna just focus one thing, guys. When you are putting together decks to get money from the business, right? You're going to be presenting to the executives. Maybe you're doing end user awareness training, but for the executives, the FBI's, I think it's the IC3 report, Internet Crime. I forget what the 3C stand for, but it's FBI IC3. Anyways, they released this annual report that includes all of these different crimes that have financial costs associated with it and how much it costs. Guys, $7 billion, right? Or $7,000 million, right? This is a lot of money. Okay, it's a ton of money. That will resonate with executives. And they said a third of it was business email compromise, which is what I want to focus on in this particular story for everybody. Guys, $7 billion, a third of that is what, like over $2 billion. Business email compromise is where an attacker convinces somebody at the organization, either by fraudulently posing as the CFO or just sending an invoice in and seeing if it gets paid. It's getting the business to send money out the door illicitly. Guys, ransomware is like what executives are talking about. Ransomware. All I hear is about ransomware. Guys, business email compromise is like the silent killer of corporate America, at least, because that's my focus, right? You need to educate your staff about business email compromise. You need protocols in place to prevent that type of attack from being successful because, guys, the numbers don't lie. It's a $2 billion a year crime. That's a lot of money, right? And on average, it's like $60,000 to $80,000 a hit. It sucks. So just be aware, educate your end users, educate your executives, and you can use this report. If you just Google FBI crime report, it'll come right up and you'll see what's going on. So definitely
Microsoft
important.
confirms lapses breach. Microsoft confirmed that a threat actor it refers to as Dev0537 compromised a single account and stole some source code, although it said it was not severe enough to elevate risk to users. The company claims it detected and shut down the attack before lapses could exfiltrate all source code around Bing and Cortana. According to Microsoft's Threat Intelligence Center, an analysis of the attackers showed that they gained elevated access through stolen credentials that enabled data theft, often resulting in extortion. Lapsus appears to operate as a cybercriminal actor motivated by theft and destruction.
Interesting. Okay, so basically Microsoft confirms what we all already knew. Of course, this story is 2 days old, so this is consistent with when this story was released. Guys, if you didn't see it yesterday, Eric Taylor from Barricade Cyber Solutions and myself did a kind of a one-off deep dive on the Okta breach, but we spent a lot of time talking about Lapsus as a threat actor group and what they're doing, because they're basically, frankly, going gangbusters the last couple months. Interesting, Microsoft says that their source code, there's the secrecy of their code is not a security measure. So like they're saying, even if source code gets out, it's no big deal. And customer data wasn't impacted. So this is really a negative consequence for Microsoft, but Microsoft is publicly saying that this isn't a big deal, probably so the shareholders don't panic. You know, this is fine. It is what it is. We've kind of covered this story already, so I'm not going to dig in any further.
Israel blocked Ukraine from accessing NSO spyware. The Washington Post sources say Israel's Defense Exports Controls Agency rejected a license that would have allowed NSO Group to offer its Pegasus spyware to Ukraine. The exact timing of this rejection is unclear, although some sources believe it dates back as far as 2019. Sources also say that Estonia had its license for Pegasus revoked by the agency. Both moves are believed to keep NSO software licensing in line with Israel's national diplomatic priorities, specifically around not provoking Russia.
Interesting. Okay, so we have talked about this spyware, malware, whatever you want to call it. NSO Group, which I guess is from Israel. See, this is weird. This is weird to me. Okay, so real quick, NSO Group makes a piece of software. They're basically an arms dealer, if you will. And they make a piece of software called Pegasus, which requires 0 clicks, and you can basically take over anyone's iPhone, right? You just send them a text message and Pegasus is on there, and then you can read their messages, listen to their phone calls, take pictures, all that stuff. It's pretty nasty piece of software. Now, Israel is blocking Ukraine from getting it. Now, what's interesting is NSO is a private arms dealer, essentially, and I guess they're out of Israel, which wouldn't surprise me because Israel does make great cybersecurity practitioners and products and stuff. But for them to be able to block it is interesting. And it's not from a financial perspective, but from a geopolitical perspective, because Israel doesn't want to, it sounds like they don't want to provoke Russia to attack Israel in some capacity, as you follow the line and say, okay, well, Ukraine has attacked Putin's phone with Pegasus. Pegasus was provided by NSO Group. NSO Group came from Israel. So now Israel is our enemy. So really interesting, because it's interesting in that it seemed before that NSO Group would sell it to anyone, you know, under the auspices that they were using it for law enforcement only. But I hadn't really heard of any, we won't sell to this country, we will sell to this country. So it is interesting, but I understand Israel's point. They're trying not to poke the bear to you know, I guess that's kind of funny because bear is how we refer to Russian threat actors. But anyways.
Word from our sponsor, Varonis, or about 43 minutes on average. This study looked at 10 ransomware families, looking at the speed it took to encrypt 100,000 files, about 53 gigabytes of data. There was a wide variance in this average, however. Lockbit came out on top, encrypting the files 86% faster than the average in about 4 minutes total. The slowest variant was Mespinoza, which took over 200 minutes to do the same. The report said that with such a wide variance, organizations should focus security efforts on prevention and spotting signs of compromise rather than assuming they can stop encryption already underway.
Yeah. So this is, if you haven't suffered a ransomware incident before, this might be informative for yourself. Guys, when ransomware starts detonating on your endpoints, like by the time you figure out what's going on and you're freaking out, your data is going to be encrypted, right? It's not like this long drawn out process that you have enough time. It's not like you're getting a flat tire on the highway where it's like slowly leaking and you pull over. This is like a blowout at 95 miles an hour. Like you're just like holding on like, oh my my God. So ransomware, it encrypts fast. And to the point in the story, at this point, y'all, you definitely should be thinking about not just defense in depth, but resiliency in depth as far as, can we manage lateral movement? Can we detect ransomware firing and be able to at least stop it on the endpoints that it's firing on in a reasonable time, just to kind of mitigate the damage? Do we have immutable backups? Do we have, like, are the ransomware encrypted files going to overwrite our backups because we're doing hot backups, right? You got to be careful, right? You might accidentally overwrite your own backups with ransomware encrypted backups. So definitely want to not rely on speed of your group. You definitely don't rely on the speed of your tooling to be able to stop ransomware. You need to be able to prevent it from happening and detect it when it happens, so you can take immediate actions to limit the damage. So and then be able to recover from it ultimately, right? So that's the deal. All right, and I know, guys, GRC, documented procedures, it's kind of boring, but guess what? When Carl is out on vacation, because he does get vacation, but he's the only one who knows how to work the cloud backup storage solution, it doesn't do anyone any good. I do want to say shout out Andres Escobar. So I saw that you got that new job as a sec triage analyst on the 4th of April. First cybersec job, dude. Super, super pumped for you. You're going to love it. It's such, dude, I love working in this industry. It's absolutely the bomb.
Ain't no sunshine for Russia's weather data access. The European Organization for the Exploitation of Meteorological Satellites, my favorite organization, called a special council of member states this week and agreed to suspend licenses of Russian users, cutting off access to Western weather data. The council also suspended a bilateral cooperation agreement with Russia's meteorological agency. The concern here is that this data could be used to coordinate biological or chemical weapons attacks against Ukraine. Upon the invasion of Ukraine in February, Russia was already cut off from data from EU satellites. This action suspends sharing of meteorological observations.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is straightforward and to the point. I guess what I would want to point out with this story is it's pretty obvious what they're doing. They're keeping the meteorological data. That way you can't launch something into the sky and then have the wind blow it over to Ukraine, right? Or if there is a, heaven forbid, a nuclear disaster like Chernobyl, in having that cloud of radioactive material kind of float over. So you're limiting the access, the intelligence, if you will, for Russia to be able to make calculated decisions on how military strikes may be impacted by weather data. Now, Russia may have their own weather data, so this may or may not be effective. But what I want to point out with this particular story for folks is, just because you don't see initial value in some data, right? Like, oh, meteorological data, who cares? Or like where flights are flying to right now, that's public data, right? Sometimes you need to think about how that data can be either combined with other data to have value, or how it can be interpreted in a way that does have value that you may not be thinking of. And this is why, honestly, I love going to DEF CON to hear red teamers think and the novel approaches and innovative, because I'm more of a conformist and I don't always see the value of certain things. But when someone thinks of it a different way, and then a light bulb goes off in my head of like, oh yeah, that is interesting, and maybe this, and this. So, no matter what, when you're valuing data and you're thinking of the data categorization classification for the data, try to think outside the box sometime of what that data's value actually is and who you want having access to it.
Hackers target hackers with malware. Researchers at ASEC spotted offers for commodity clipboard stealing malware on forums posing as cracked versions of BitRat and QuasarRat. Clicking on either in the forum took a user to an anon files page, which provided a RAR archive to build the malware. Instead, the archive contained an installer for ClipBanker, which executed upon reboot. This looks for cryptocurrency wallet targets and pastes them into a hard-coded wallet. Researchers at Cybel found a similar scheme on a hacking forum, with the address receiving 1.3 Bitcoin from 422 hijacked transactions.
Okay. All right. So real quick, I did see in chats, people had mentioned that Darknet Diaries had a great show on NSO Group. If you don't know Darknet Diaries, I strongly encourage you check it out. If you do know about it, you know how awesome it is. I bet you that NSO Group 1 is really good. This is Jack Sider's podcast. Definitely check it out. I want to just point out really quick, because they're talking about hackers hacking hackers by sending out, basically malware posed as other malware that's cracked that they can use. I want to point out this episode 112, Dirty Comms. I listened to this weekend when I was driving. This gets into kind of the seedy underbelly and of dark web and hackers exchanging, data, selling things on the dark web market. But they get into how there is no honor among thieves and how they will attack each other. And it really enforces, echoes, amplifies what this story here is putting out, is that just because they're all hackers and they're all on the same side of the law doesn't mean that they're on the same team, right? They're very much out for themselves or for their own little gang, if you will. And when you hack a hacker, what are they going to do? They can't go to the police or anything because they are also a criminal, right? So it's almost like a self-policing environment. So it's yet another reason why you shouldn't be trying to go on the dark web to pull down cracked, software and applications and stuff like that, because you have no idea what you're getting.
More like network attacked storage. Am I right? Researchers at Census found that the beleaguered network attached storage devices from QNAP are once again under attack from Deadbolt ransomware. The latest wave of attacks began in mid-March, ramping up from 373 infections on March 16th to 1,146 on March 19th. QNAP hardware came under similar attacks back in January, which resulted in QNAP releasing an out-of-band update that included some officially unsupported hardware. This new campaign appears to target a more recent version of the Linux kernel found on newer QNAP devices, indicating it's more than just a copycat. Once encrypted, the attackers ask for 0.03 Bitcoin to unlock the device, or will release a master key for the princely sum of 50 Bitcoin, about $2 million.
Okay. Hey, what's up, Tron? Good to see you in there. Nathan Bolin, good to see you. Guys, I've got this new sounder of Randy Moss. I'm going to play it here because it is ransomware.
Straight cash, homie.
Straight cash, homie. Listen, it's a day that ends in Y. So there's a story about QNAP being vulnerable and getting compromised. This is end user network attached storage devices, and they are configured. They must be configured by default to be literally facing the internet with their butt hanging out, hospital gown open, no shorts, because QNAP is like getting hammered over and over. Like, I guarantee you, I need a QNAP sound effect is what I need, because a month doesn't go by with a QNAP story. So guys, basically this story is more of the same. So if you've been in the industry a while, then this isn't news for you. Yes, exactly. Wu-Tang. So this shouldn't be news to you. Ransomware wants to find endpoints to install itself on and then basically try to get paid. So QNAP is an obviously easy attack surface. There's multiple vulnerabilities, well publicized. Apparently they're, you just walk through exploitation. Point any ransomware. Like, this story could say Deadbolt ransomware, LukiBot ransomware, Quackbot ransomware. Like, it could be any ransomware. It's not special that it's Deadbolt. It's common that it's QNAP. So QNAP needs to tighten their ship up, or like make their default creds at least. Yeah, thank you. Hold on, I can't see your name. Edwin. Yeah, guys, they need to up their game, okay? And make it default configuration, either change the admin passwords or not have it configured to the internet. And Edwin is right. It is residential, but small businesses typically grow out of individuals or home businesses, especially in COVID. A lot of businesses started up out of people's homes. And it seems like a reasonable solution to get a QNAP. This is our file server. You can access it from Starbucks. No big deal. The big problem is that anyone can access it from Starbucks. I was talking to my students today about firewalls. Yes, if you make the ACL rule any, then everyone can access it and you will get zero calls from the end users about problems. But everybody will be able to access it, including bad guys. So do your job. Like, QNAP.
It's one thing to talk about building out and adapting an existing security program to meet.
Oh, okay. So they're going to try to sell us something. Let's move on from there. Where's my music? There we go. All right, guys. So we made it through Thursday, March 24th. You guys, you know what today is. Today is Simply Cyber Live. It is Thursday live streams. Today at 4:30 Eastern Time, we are welcoming Scott Grow. He is a former CISO for a major company. I won't name it in case he doesn't want it to be named, but Fortune 500 company. And he is now working in the product side of the house for a security vendor. We're not really talking about the vendor product or anything today. We're talking to Scott about what is product life? Is that a role? Is that a job in cybersecurity that you're actually interested in and maybe could have value? So we're going to check that out and talk to him, basically do a day in the life experience. I hope you can join us. Also, I want to point out that our good friend Jack Scott, Outpost Gray at 3:30 today. Hold on. Yeah, 3:30, March 24th. She's going to be having a fireside chat regarding resume reviews. So people, I know Andre's got the job. I know Tom Pike got the job. But if you guys are trying to switch jobs right now, you're trying to break in the industry, you want a little bit of a help on that resume, check out this talk. Stefan Semmelroth's is going to be there. I saw him in chat. Jen Beatty, I haven't had the opportunity to meet, but I'm sure she's excellent. And everybody knows our good friend of Simply Cyber, Joe Hudson. So this is going to be exciting. I'm actually going to set a reminder right now for myself. Doink. And we're going to do that. Guys, one other thing, just to kind of share this, I'm not going to be mixing my job and Simply Cyber very much, but I do want to point out really quickly that I am going to be ThreatGen. This is the company that I just started working for a couple weeks ago, and I am the director of cybersecurity education, which means I'm doing a lot on the education and curriculum side, but also I'm doing some YouTube stuff because I love doing this. So if you go over there right now, you can see, well, I'm already subscribed, but there is a trailer video of me. We're going to start actually probably in early April, starting doing some regular content like that Okta deep dive I did yesterday with Eric Taylor. I'm kind of musing doing like maybe a Friday deep dive on some topic that came out of the news that week, like going deep for an hour on, what it means, what's the impact, what have we seen before. Doing some Let's Play with the ThreatGen game. If you guys have been a fan of the channel for a while, you know that I play the game sometimes on stream. So whatever, if that's interesting to you, check out the ThreatGen YouTube channel. If not, no big deal. Whew. Guys, thank you for all the kind words. Thank you for all being here. Tomorrow at 8 a.m., we will be doing First Things First, wrapping up the week. If we, at 4:30 today, we'll be doing our regular thing. But guys, I appreciate you all so much. Got a little spicy there on the QNAP, but I think we're going to be okay. You guys be good. Have a wonderful day. I wish you all the best, and we'll see you today at 4:30 or tomorrow at 8 a.m. Take care, guys.